a white sauce, a New York-style red sauce, and then an Italian-style Neapolitan tomato sauce.
Why do some jarred sauces taste fine cold but turn flat, sour, or syrupy on a hot pizza? Answer: the toxic trio. Added sugar, cheap vegetable oils, and flavor-masking citric acid. In this list of 12, 7 lean on those crutches. 5 don't, and they beat chain pizza at home. Watch as we break down texture, spread, and bake performance and give you a simple rule. If it needs more than tomatoes, basil, salt, and good oil to taste like pizza, skip it. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1, great value. You grab great value because the price looks kind, but the back label waves a red flag. Here's the truth. It leans on the toxic trio. Added sugar fakes ripeness. Vegetable oil props up thin paste. Citric acid smooths flaws cold, then bites when hot. In the oven, oil and paste form a greasy film that blocks tomato aroma. Sugar browns fast, nudging a syrupy edge near the crust. The acid spikes, so bright turns sour. Lower-cost formulas use concentrate and stabilizers. High heat can pull out metallic and sharp notes from the can itself, like dragging a penny across your palate. If sugar, oil, and acid show up early, your slice will taste cheaper after the bake. Now at number 2, a legacy label that leans hard on paste. Number 2, Ragu. You reach for Ragu homemade-style pizza sauce expecting Sunday gravy comfort. But the jar leans paste first, so what you taste is flat and sweet, not slow-cooked depth. Here's the truth. Paste-heavy formulas lean on added sugar and citric acid to feel balanced. Under heat, that balance tips. Hot spots thicken into clumps while sugars caramelize at the edge. The acid pops, so the profile reads bright candy instead of savory. Blind tests call it one-note tomato paste, which tracks with concentrate. Fewer aroma compounds, less lift after the bake, and more monotone sweetness. If it tastes like paste on the spoon, it turns candy tang on your crust. You can't season your way out mid-bake. Next up, a rival that reads sweeter. Number 3, Prego. Spoon test says friendly. Your oven says syrup and sting. Here's the truth. Prego Pizza Sauce leans on added sugar with citric acid, so the flavor reads ketchup-like once hot. On a pie, the sweet note fights the salt in your cheese and any meat, dulling umami. The acid tightens your palate, so basil and oregano feel thin, not lush. Under high heat, those sugars brown near the rim and leave burnt edges that taste like caramel gone wrong. Reviewers call it overly sweet, and that tracks with how added sugars behave at 450 to 500 degrees. You get glossy, loud sweetness, less tomato. If it tastes like a sweet squeeze bottle warm, it won't improve at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Now at Target's house brand. Number 4, Market Pantry. Target. You trust the house brand because the label looks simple, but the fine print tells you how it will bake. Here's the truth. Added sugar and seed oil make Market Pantry pizza sauce feel thick in the jar, then taste thin on a slice. Citric acid buffs rough edges, but it scrubs tomato character too. On a par bake test, thin spots puddle, oil blooms on top, and steam drives water into the crust. You get a soggy middle and a slick, shiny surface. Heat exposes an oil-water split, so herbs float while tomato slips away. Reviewers of private labels often call out thinness and low aroma, and this tracks. Number 5, Chef Boyardee Kit Sauce. The Chef Boyardee pizza maker sauce feels retro and fun, but nostalgia won't fix a thin, sweet base that won't survive a hot bake. Here's the truth. The kit sauce leans on sugar and citric acid for fast flavor. In the oven, the center goes watery while the edge turns sticky. Low tomato solids plus sugar create a syrupy ring in high heat zones. Citric acid sharpens, so your cheese reads harsher, not richer. Processed kit sauces aim for shelf life and easy prep. That means texture that breaks under heat compared to thicker, low-sugar sauces. You see a glossy sheen, little aroma, and a crust that softens fast. Number 6, Hunt's. You expect bold tomatoes from a tomato brand. Hunt's traditional pizza sauce looks the part, but the body runs thin and the taste leans paste. Here's the truth. When it feels light, you spread more. That's when sugars brown fast and the rim turns bittersweet. Thin sauce spreads unevenly. Oil rises. Water steams into the dough like a wet towel under your crust. You get a soggy center with a scorched ring that tastes burnt and sweet at once. High heat above 400 degrees Fahrenheit pushes sugar scorching. Thin sauce speeds water transfer into the dough, so the base softens while edges darken too fast. Number 7, Dollar Tree Pantry Essentials. $1 sounds harmless, but cheap has a cost when you bake it. Here's the truth. Dollar Tree Pantry Essentials. Pizza sauce often stacks the toxic trio: added sugar, cheap oil, and citric acid on top of tomato paste concentrate. Heat turns every shortcut louder. You get metallic sour notes, oily pools, and weak tomato smell. Cheese slides because the oil greases the surface like wax on a floor. Under high heat, thin body means water steams into the dough, softening the base while edges brown too fast. Budget sauces rely on flavor masking and stabilizers, and tests flag thinness with off flavors. You taste gloss, not tomatoes. Now time for the good news. Number 1, Rouse. You want restaurant depth at home without the sugar rush. Here's the truth. This jar skips added sugar and still lands balanced. Ripe tomatoes, clean herbs, and olive oil do the heavy lifting. On a hot pie, real tomato chunks hold shape and release natural sweetness. Olive oil carries aroma through heat like a conveyor belt for flavor. No citric acid bite. No seed oil film. You taste tomatoes, not syrup or lemony tang. It's consistently praised in blind tastings for punchy tomato flavor and a clean finish after the bake. That tracks with how simple, high-quality ingredients act under heat. Number 2, Don Pepino. Don Pepino splits panels. Some call it a fan favorite. Others call it tricky when hot. Here's the truth. It gives you a nostalgic, spiced profile with strong tomato. The thicker texture spreads clean and covers well, so the crust stays protected instead of soaking. But when acidity runs high, heat can sharpen it. Add salty toppings and the tang stacks, so pepperoni and aged cheese read harsher. Blind tests often rank it mid to low due to that tang, yet plenty of tasters praise a fresh tomato vibe that holds up on a fast bake. You get bold and bright, not candy or lemon peel. Number 3, Classico. Mid-price doesn't have to mean mid-quality. You want a jar that works on a weeknight and doesn't punish your crust. Here's the truth. Classico traditional pizza sauce brings a thicker body and tomato-first profile that holds up in the oven. That heft slows water soak so your base stays crisp instead of limp. Herbs stay in the background and lift the sauce, they don't shout. Heat unlocks a clean basil note without tipping into sour. Reviewers highlight a reliable spread and clean tomato taste at a fair price. Still, watch the label. Added sugar and soybean oil show up, and that can nudge sweetness and leave a mild film when you oversauce. Number 4, Michael's of Brooklyn. You want pizzeria flavor without simmering all day. Michael's of Brooklyn pizza sauce targets that lane. Here's the truth. The price is high, so it has to stay clean under heat. It does. Ripe tomatoes, real olive oil, and balanced herbs deliver a rounded, savory base that warms into gentle sweetness in the oven. No harsh tang. No greasy film. The aroma rides the oil like a carrier, so you smell tomato and basil when you open the door. It's known for depth and a clean finish, so it doesn't need sugar boosts or flavor maskers to taste right after a bake. Number 5, Mutti with basil. The basil on the label isn't a gimmick. You taste it after the bake, not as a perfume cloud, but as a clean green lift that sits behind ripe tomato. Here's the truth. Many basil sauces turn bitter or soapy when hot. This one stays rounded. Thick, steady texture means no puddles and no watery halo. Italian tomatoes with minimal extras keep acidity smooth, so cheese reads creamy, not harsh. Under heat, the sauce holds like a good grout line, keeps moisture in place and flavor on track. Want the truth about what's safe and what's hype? Subscribe now so you won't get fooled. Drop your worst sauce story in the comments. Tell us the brand and what went wrong. Bottom line, your pizza lives or dies by the label. 4 clean ingredients beat any clever claim. Read it, trust it, then bake.